Hello students, today I am starting a new topic of our subject Advanced Financial Accounting. It is hire purchase. Hire purchase finance, it is controlled or governed through Hire Purchase Act of 1972. It is another method of purchasing asset on finance where the hire purchaser purchases goods on finance or hire seller sold goods to the hire purchase agreement, and in this at the time of purchase hire purchaser makes a initial payment known as down payment and installment over a period of time as per the agreement. So here there are two parties. First is a hire purchaser. Hire purchaser, it is a person who is purchasing the assets on hire purchase agreement, and another it is a hire seller who is selling goods to the hire purchaser. Two of the most important feature of hire purchase agreement is that the possession of goods is immediately transferred at the time of purchase. The possession of goods is transferred from hire seller to the hire purchaser, but the ownership of the asset is transferred only after making of all installment, only after the payment of all installment, or we can say it is the final installment. If any particular point of time the hire purchaser defaults the payment, at that time the hire seller has the right to repossess the goods which has been sold through hire purchase agreement. There are two types of repossession in hire purchase. First it is full repossession, second it is partial repossession. Let us understand what is the basic difference between full repossession and partial repossession. Let's take an example. If the under hire purchase agreement the hire seller has sold 5 number of goods to the hire purchaser, or the hire purchaser has purchased 5 assets from the hire seller. So goods is for hire seller and asset it is for hire purchaser. At a particular point of time the hire purchaser is unwilling, showing his unwillingness to pay all the installment. In that particular time the hire seller will repossess all 5 number of goods which has been sold by the seller, and in that case it is a case of full repossession. Earlier hire seller has sold 5 goods and all the 5 goods has been repossessed by the seller, so it is the case of full repossession. Second, it is of partial repossession. Again the hire seller has sold 5 number of goods to the hire purchaser. Hire purchaser is unwilling to pay installment for all goods, but he is willing to pay installment of some goods. And in that case there will be agreement between the hire purchaser and hire seller, and in that agreement if the hire purchase repossess less than 5 number of goods from the hire purchaser, it is a case of partial repossession. Means the goods number of goods has been sold 5, but the seller on the default of payment has repossessed 3, 2, 4 or 1 goods. It is a case of partial repossession. Out of 5 he has not repossessed all goods, so it is a case of partial repossession. In hire purchase we have to prepare necessary ledger account in the books of both parties, that is hire purchase which is known as hirer and the hire vendor, that is hire seller. So in the books of hire purchaser we have to make 4 ledger accounts, and in the books of hire seller we have to make 3 ledger accounts. But before making the ledger accounts, our first process is the journalization. We have to remember what all the journal entries has to be passed, and then we will be directly posting that journal entry into the ledger. So we will not be passing any journal entries, we will be directly making ledger account, but I will be giving you the list of the journal entries which is to be passed in the books of both hire purchaser and hire seller. Let's start for the journal entries. Let's take an example. First, journal entries. in the books of hire purchaser, the format of journal that is date and particular. Actually we don't have to pass the journal entries, but still I am making the format for the journal. The first entry, it is of purchase of asset. Asset is for the purchaser and goods it is for seller. The first entry will be asset account debit to hire seller account, being assets purchased on hire purchase system. That is the first entry. Second entry, at the time of purchase, hire purchaser will be making the initial payment. That initial payment is called as down payment. So we'll be passing the entry when the payment is made to the hire seller. So hire seller account debit to bank account, being down payment made. The third entry will be of the interest due from to the hire seller, because if we are purchasing on the finance, we have to pay the amount of interest on the outstanding amount, and the entry will be interest. It is an expenses for the hire purchaser, so the entry will be interest account debit to hire seller. Here our narration will be being interest due. After that, the hire purchaser will be paying the installment. The entry for the installment will be the hire seller will be receiving the installment. Entry will be hire seller account debit to bank account, being installment paid. That is the payment of installment of first, second, third. Actually, whenever we will be making the payment of installment, the installment may be of monthly, quarterly, semi-annually and annually. For every set of installment, we have to pass these two entries. Next, because it is an asset for the purchaser, the purchaser will charge the amount depreciation on the asset. So the entry will be depreciation account debit to assets account, being depreciation charged. And the last entry will be transferring the amount of depreciation or transferring the things of which is transferred to the nominal account. So the entry will be profit and loss account debit to interest account to depreciation account, being interest and depreciation transferred to P&L account, and depreciation transferred to P&L account. So that will be a set of entry if the hire purchaser pays the installment as on time, he is willing to pay the installment, and when he is unwilling to pay the installment, the said asset of hire purchaser, it is a goods for the hire seller, it will be repossessed by the hire seller. So the entry of repossession will be hire seller account debit to assets account. As per the valuation of the hire seller, the goods will be repossessed, and the entry will be being goods being assets repossessed by hire seller. So this will be the entry, and if the asset been repossessed above the amount of the written down value, it will be the profit for the hire seller. Sorry, it will be profit for the hire purchaser. And if the written down value is more and the repossession value is less, it will be loss for the hire purchaser. So the entry of profit and loss will be made again. One entry will be made one entry will be passed by the hire purchaser. If it is a loss it is debited. So we will be passing the entry of P&L account debit to assets account, being loss transferred to profit and loss account. If it is profit, then asset account debit to P&L account. So that is the set of entries which we will be passing. It is a hire purchase agreement. It is a method of financing. So there will be a two price for the assets which has been purchased by the hire purchase. First, it is cash price, the original value of the said machinery, said asset. Second, it is the hire purchase price, which includes the amount of interest. So the difference between the cash price and the hire purchase price, it is the interest which is charged by the hire seller. So now let's check what are the general entries which a hire seller will pass in his books. Now let's see what are the entries we will be passing in the books of hire vendor. First, it is goods for the hire seller. So we will be passing the entry of sale. Entry will be, the first entry will be hire purchaser account debit to, it is not normal sale, it is hire sales, being good sold on hire purchase system or hire purchase finance. Next entry will be of receiving of down payment from the hire purchaser. So entry will be bank account debit to hire purchaser account, being down payment received. That is our second entry. Third entry will be the amount of interest which will be due before the payment of for installment. The interest will be the income from the seller. Interest will be credited and it will be due from the hire purchaser. Entry will be hire purchaser account debit to interest account, being interest due. Next entry will be the receipt of the installment. Entry will be bank account debit to hire purchaser, being installment received. And this set of entry will be will be passed in particular year depends upon how much installment, on how much number of installment it has been received. If it is yearly installment, maybe it will be 12 in a year. If it is quarterly installment, it will be 4. If it is a semi-annually installment, it is 2. And if it is yearly installment, total number of installment which will be received by the hire seller, it is 1. Next, it is closing of the books. In the closing of the books, there are two things. First, it is the hire sale, it will be transferred to the trading account, and the interest will be transferred to the P&L account. So there will be these two set of entries will be common for every year, and these two entries is the only for the first year. The third entry which will be common for every year, it is the transfer of interest to the profit and loss account. Entry will be interest account debit to profit and loss account, being interest transferred to profit and loss account. This is the third entry which will be passed up to the completion of the hire purchase contract, and the last entry will be the transferring of hire sale to the trading account, that is trading account debit, hire sales account debit, account debit to trading account, being hire sales transferred to trading account. To trading account. So this is the set of entries, and when the hire purchaser doesn't pay the installment, if the goods has been repossessed by the hire seller, then there will be additional entries in the year. First, it is the repossession of the goods. So it will be the entry will be the repossessed goods account debit to hire purchaser, being goods repossessed. Then if the hire purchaser will be incurring expenses in order to increase its value for resale, then the entry will be again repossessed goods account debit to cash or to bank account, being expenses incurred by the hire seller. Next, if the hire seller will be selling this good, the entry will be bank account debit to goods repossessed account, being repossessed goods sold. And the last entry will be either the goods has been sold at proper value, at more than the value, or at the less value. So if there is a profit, the entry will be we will be passing the another set of entry for if the goods has been sold at more than the value, and if there will be loss, then we again will be passing. So either there will be a profit or loss, or there will be nothing. So if suppose there is a profit on sale, entry will be goods repossessed account debit to profit and loss account, being goods sold at higher value. So, or if it will be loss, the entry will be P&L account debit to goods repossessed account. So these are the set of entries which we have to remember, as we have to prepare the necessary ledger account. We will not be passing It is for your concept that you should know what entry is to be passed, and we will be directly preparing the ledger account from the next lecture. You have to remember there are 4 ledger accounts which is prepared in the books of hire purchaser. The first it is asset account, second it is hire seller account, third it is interest account, and fourth it is depreciation account. These 4 accounts are to be prepared in the books of hire purchaser, and in the books of hire seller there are 3 accounts. The first it is hire sale account, the second it is interest account, the third it is hire purchaser account, and the fourth it is goods repossess account. So 4 in the books of hire purchaser and 4 in the books of hire seller. So we'll be solving the practical question in the next class. For today, thank you.